Hello, and welcome back to The Nora Show. I believe that I have finished everything that I wish to finish right now within the category of house dresses and aprons. This means that it is time to move on to a new category. I'm approaching springtime and summer, so I'm going to say that the most needed thing in my wardrobe right now would possibly be day dresses or a skirt blouse combo that would also suffice as under the category of what you would wear during the daytime out and about. Not that I'm going out and about, but I assume that eventually that this will happen again. And when it does, I'm going to be prepared with an amazing wardrobe. We are now moving away from cotton. Heck if I know what this material specifically is, other than thrift store and cheap. It's been in my closet for a while, and I have a little over 4 yards of this. So let's say 4 yards and 6 inches, give or take. It is not stretchy. It has a great drape though. It's not my necessarily favorite go-to color when it comes to me and my coloring. I have it. It's here. I didn't spend a huge amount of money on it. And when I look at it, it feels like something that would be able to easily be sewn into something from this time period and not cause too much of a deviation from a general feel or look that needs to happen there. Back to this book. I know I've sewn a lot out of it, but I just keep going back to it. I have plenty of other patterns. I just really like everything that's in this book, which probably means that this may be my favorite year. I wish I knew the specific year on this, but again, I think that it's early 1940s. There's not huge skirts. This looks honestly very mid-World War II. We are looking at figure number 7. Definitely not a house dress. Definitely some pretty draping. I like everything that's going on here. The two things that I really want to make sure that I look at when I draft this up are the collarbone bands. I don't want them to crumple on me and fall. So I'm almost thinking they may need reinforcement, especially with this material. I'm a little curious how that will work. I'm also looking at the skirt part that comes up. That is just wicked fun. I'm also looking at the waist. That waist is genuinely going to be a fitted waist, and there's going to be a zipper in this. So I'm going to make sure that I sew a muslin this time because this pattern deviates enough from everything else that I have been doing, and because the waist is so much more fitted, there is no belt to mess with or hide any bodice to skirt mistakes. You better get it right. Hence, it's time to sew a muslin, which means guaranteed I will not be able to finish this dress within 1 week, which means that this is now a 2-parter, which is most likely what everything in this channel is going to be. I'm going to not actually draft the skirt yet. I am only going to draft the bodice, and I will do most likely just the upper part of the sleeves because I don't need to worry about the length. That's easy enough to measure out. I can finagle that. But I very much want to play with making sure that this is fitted around the waist. This should be a very becoming dress. There's nothing about this pattern that worries me. Mostly, I just want to make sure that it fits well. And this is where I need to make a decision on if this dress is going to be worn with a corset or without. Whenever you do your sewing, you need to remember to wear the undergarments that you are planning to wear with that item that you have sewn. Modern brassieres versus, let's say, a 1940s, 1950s bullet bra, it fits very differently, and your placement of your upper bust, lower bust, and where all the angles are a little bit lower and pointier. I highly suggest that when you take your measurements for a sloper, that you are wearing the correct undergarments. Everything that we put on underneath our clothing distinctly changes our form. It distinctly changes the silhouette. The way I'm going to record this is going to be slightly different than the first 3 episodes. I'm going to try explaining what it is that I'm doing as I'm drawing this out, and I'm only going to deal with the top part of this dress. Let's draw this out. It is at this point that I would like to give a shout out to my creative director and executive producer, my 11-year-old son, who has provided technical and practical support from the beginning. All laughter in the background in the following video clips are him greatly enjoying the free time afforded to him due to his mom having a sewing habit. I do hope you enjoy the sound of a child laughing. My sloper is a mirror image of the slopers that are used in here. So to manage that problem so I'm not continually having to flip things back and forth in my head, I just flip this over. Because the pattern extends past on this side, I'm not putting this all the way to the edge of the paper down here. I'm actually pushing it upwards so that I can draw out this part. Now I've traced this, and that's literally all this is for. Next, put in that waistline.
So you act like you're good at this game, but you're good at the game, but the potatoes not.
The real question is, where do you begin? I'm going to go for the part that has the least amount of change. From here to here, from there to there, there is actually no change. So let's draw in right here, 4 inches from that top part down. So I need 4 inches from here to here. Get yourself a flexible ruler. There's the 4-inch mark. All right, see that 3 inches right there? We're going to drop down and mark that next. All right, so that's this point, and from the 3-inch mark, that goes, this point goes to A, and that's this, 1A, 2, 3, this is 4 inches, and that's the point that we're getting rid of. This is 3 inches, and we're going from A to there. Then we need 3.5 inches. 1. And that's a 1-inch thing, so here to here. There's that. I'm going to take a look at this part next. This one drops down 1/2 inch. for 2.5 inches. So I'm going to mark it to here. And that drops from 1/2 inch. And this drops down. Everything else down here, all of the 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches, that has to do with the skirt. So keep your eyes on the bodice. All you have to do is drop down 1/2 inch to the 2.5 inch mark. Then that goes up to the hip. The dart is to be placed 4 inches from the side. And it's placed right there. And then it says that it's 3/4 of an inch. However, my sloper has a 1 inch dart here. I am going to mark where the dart is supposed to be. Where the dart is supposed to be. And I am going to mark that it's supposed to be 1 inch. And it's supposed to be 3.5 inches high. 1, 2, 3. And that's in the middle. So it's 1/2 inch out. And I'm going to draw the line that it would actually follow. That's where it would fold and sew all the way up. This is not going to be a point that I'm going to want to pleat this. I really do want to sew the dart, and we know from prior points that I have avoided that. I may not avoid that this time. Okay. This seems to be, cut and open 2 inches at the front. There isn't a measurement here and there's no measurement here. However, it seems to be, that's where I would put it. I would put it at the planned area right there. That's, or, I'm going to do that last. All right, so this part is done. There's that. There's this. Now let's pull this out. I believe that needs 4 inches out on the bottom line, making sure that's even, and pull that out to here. Then I'm going to, oh, that's really tiny. Look at that. It is so tiny. 3/4. Either that or my eyes are getting old and are lying to me. Either way, I believe that that's 3/4. So that's going to be 3/4 and then 2 inches. So I am going to put 2 inches to here and now move that out to 3/4, continuing to be even along the lines. Mark the dart 3/4, and then from there to there is 2 inches. 2 inches, 3/4, 4 inches, 2 inches here, and that is correct. And double checking that that's 2.5 inches. It is 2 1/2 inches, and then double checking that this is in fact 4, and that is, so we have now double checked all the way out here, and we can complete that line. That's not a problem. And then this line connects all the way up to A, but A is not A here. A gets pulled out And it looks like you get a curve up and then out. So it says 2.5 inches. Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay, this is actually quite clever. Am I in? Yes, I am. Okay. It says to go 2.5 inches out. So line it up with your ruler. Make sure that you're nice and flat, or at least somewhere near it. And go half, 1, 2. All right, now that's pulled out. Now go half an inch perpendicularly. I'm going to assume because, well, now this line gets a little bit curved. It needs to have a little dimension because remember, we're not flat people, so we need to have dimension. So does this connect in a way that doesn't offend the eye? Okay, let's pretend that's curved here for a second. That line will then curve. Yeah, that looks right. Remember, if it doesn't look right, double check it. Okay, this is a curve from B to C, which means that we need to get the Haslam ruler out. This is the cool Haslam system of dress cutting, interesting chart thingy. It's really cool. All right, B, C. I'm looking at the BC area, and I'm going to say that it probably goes there. So I'm going to line that up here, and we are going to go from 2 to the dot and do a nice curve, because human bodies curve. And that was a really good shake. Okay, so voomp. That now match. Oh, no. I need to drop half an inch. So now that's not correct. So now get rid of that pen and get a hot pink one. Okay, I am going to, since that line is there to here, I'm going to say I feel comfortable dropping it. So notice that I'm going from here to here. Now this won't be the line because it looks like I'm supposed to use K at that point. Don't go into the dishwasher, sweetie. What are you looking for? Nothing at all.
I'm just opening stuff.
You're just opening stuff. Thank you. All right, so that's K, and K will be up here, and that will go from up here all the way down. We are not doing root beer floats. I'm going from that point to here, understanding that this is not going to be a completely straight line. But I know that I need to drop half an inch down. So the general ½ inch area is going to be right here. Then I'm going to come back up here and do this exact same line, but I'm going to drop it to here. There's BC, there's the 2, pull that over. Beautiful, and it goes to there. Now, checking this, that's the 2.5 inches out, ½ inch down, that's BC, that goes to there. This looks right. All of this is going to be part of this now, and we're not going to be cutting any of that out. That was just to get the shape for here to here, and that's it. Remember, all of these are going to be gathers that go into here, and everything over here is going to get cut and come into here. Oh, this is brilliant. That top part and this bottom part, I think they are one piece, and the whole thing gets gathered under here. This would make this little stripe right here much more secure. but it also means that I'm going to have to work very, very hard to get it to lay flat. But I'm not too worried. That purple material should allow me to do that. Okay, so now I understand that. So this whole thing, all of this is going to be one piece that I cut out. Oh, that's so much easier. So the whole thing, and then gathers, and I bet that, and that'll gather too. This is starting to make more sense. Okay. Next, I'm looking at from here down to here now. And you can see that it's from K up. So find K. This is obviously not long enough to get to here, so I'm going to use this as an extension of that. And the idea here is that this is flush and this becomes, oh wow, I did that perfect on the first try. Oh no, I didn't. Remember, we're not doing that. It's the pink line that's correct. Okay, and that goes to K, and that goes quite nicely to there. All right. There. All right, let's take a look at this in review. And then we need one more line up. There's my 3/4, 3/4, up, and that's supposed to be 4 inches. One, two, three, 4. Ooh, okay, I no longer like my pink line. So what I'm going to do is go straight up here, and I'm going back to my blue. This line needs to be meeting here, so I need to have more of a curve out. And I also know, and there's the third point that it wants. Okay, this pink line is completely wrong. So we're gonna go back to the blue. The only pink line that we're following is the one up here. This one is now defunct, and this is defunct. But this dot is correct. This dot is correct. This dot is correct, and now we have that line right there. You know what that is? That is a perpendicular line from the bottom of the armpit. That's what that looked like. So, and you have that line right here, which was the original one right here. So I'm gonna go right there, and 1, 2.5. There's my third line, third point. So from here to here to here to there. Let's go back to this. Let's get back to K. And this time, oh, look how wicked. You see, that's the thing about this system. I swear that, that is absolutely beautiful. So that lined up, which tells me that I'm dead on correct at that point. And then I'm going to take it from here and see if, oh, isn't that pretty? Look how that lines up so well. And this curve, I'm just going to, when I draw this out, when I cut this out, I'm going to be very careful about getting this to lay nicely. No big drama here. Remember to write down what this pattern is. Front, figure 7. Ooh, I didn't do the line. Now this is going to be a little bit of a guess. When I take a look at the pattern and I put this to here, it doesn't actually end at the corner, it's above it. So whatever it is that I'm doing, it needs to, I'm gonna still aim for here. If I went for a direct thing, that wouldn't make sense. So I'm gonna aim about half. How many? That's about 2 inches. That would end that there. But that would end it. Sure, let's do that. Now, that line, right side only. Cut and open 2 inches. Taper to under arm. This gets cut up to here, opened at the bottom 2 inches. So I'm going to cut this out now, put it over more paper, and open it up. This is correct for the left side. Also, no seam allowance. So from this piece, we need 3 things. I need this little square separated from everything. I need this as one big thing, just as it is, as the left side. I also need the right side, and I need to cut that and open that, and that will be my 3rd pattern piece. So let's do this. Left side, no. This is going to be fitted. So this and this can be and will be adjusted until this section is fitted to me. No seam allowance, left side, figure 7 front. I need to be able to have a clean edge on both the top and the bottom of this, and enough structure to it that it can handle all of the ruffles and the gathers that will ruffle out on the bottom and the top. I am tempted to make this a double layer to give it more structure. Actually, I know that's exactly what I'm going to do. So no more question marks. Cut this out 4 times so that I can have a double on that. Next, this is the right side. This gets cut and opened at here 2 inches. At this point, I have the top, front left, front right, and the little binding there. I need to do the back, which is not going to be anything more than really a trace out of my sloper. And then I need to, as a seam allowance, cut out the muslin and try it on. That's where we're at.